Good morning. River 2 Max. This will be a quick unboxing and review of the specs of the River 2 Max, as well as my first impressions of the unit. I actually have the original EcoFlow River. It's been a good power station, though I haven't been too thrilled with the battery life. I believe it has small battery size of like 278 watt hours or something like that. The River 2 Max has a battery size of 578 watt hours. So I believe it's about double what the original EcoFlow River is. Thankfully, if you've seen some of my previous videos, I shared with you my purchase on getting the River 2 Max. I think retail on the River 2 Max is $599, though they've had it discounted down to $420 for quite a while. And with the Black Friday deals going on, prices are kind of all over the board a little bit. But thankfully, I was able to jump on probably the best deal that the River 2 Max has had so far since it's been launched. I don't remember all the specifics of the deal that I got, but essentially I was able to get the River 2 Max and EcoFlow's 110 watt folding solar panel for $363 with tax. So it was a killer deal. I couldn't say no. I had to jump on it, and here we are. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and unbox this and check this unit out. All right, up top we've got the styrofoam, pretty thick. Quick start guide for the River 2 Max, and a boom, the unit itself. In the bottom, we just got the box full of cables and the styrofoam. Here it is. This is actually a bit larger and heftier than I was expecting to see, because I knew that it was a small power station to begin with, but yeah, this is a good little size here. Pretty sweet. It's got some weight to it. I know the Delta 2 does weigh more than the River 2 Max, but I wouldn't classify this particularly as super lightweight. Yeah, this is a solid unit. Let's check out what we've got as far as cables go. The big question here is, did they include the XT60 to MC4 connector? And rice bag. A little different there. Questions answered. We didn't get the MC4 to XT60 connector. But what we do have is we've got the very familiar AC power cable to charge via AC. This is what you use for fast charging the device. And it's a very hefty, thick cable. We've got the DC to XT60 connector, and this is what you can use to charge it in your car. We've got the male-to-male DC5521 plug, which I mentioned this in my last video, the unboxing of the Delta 2. Why did EcoFlow decide to include the DC5521 barrel plug instead of the solar charging MC4 to XT60 cord? Yeah, not sure about that. I got the Delta 2 and I got these same three cables with it. And then I got the River 2 Max and have these three cables. In between shipments, I also received a separate MC4 to XT60 connector, but I don't know if it was supposed to be sent with the Delta 2 or the River 2 Max. So, not sure on that. I'm a little confused there, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's go over some of the specs. Oh, my bad. The battery capacity on the River 2 Max is actually 512 watt hours. But the best part about it is that it's a lithium iron phosphate battery. Net weight is 13.4 pounds. Either I'm really weak or this just feels heavier than 13 pounds. The dimensions, 10.6 by 10.2 by 7.7 inches. That's a good size. The AC input has a 10 amp max. The DC input has a 13 amp max, which is about 220 watts. One cool thing is you can actually recharge this unit via the USB-C port, and it has a max of 100 watts. And then as far as the AC output goes, it's a pure sine wave inverter. The inverter is rated at 500 watts with a surge of 1,000 watts. But you can use X boost and get a lot more watts than that with certain devices, like heating devices that aren't sensitive to reducing the voltage when you use X-Boost. Now they rate the cycle life of this unit down to 80% capacity after 3,000 cycles, which is way better than the previous units they were making because they were using the battery chemistry NCM. They were rated down to 60% after like 600 or 700 cycles. This battery will last a much longer time. Now, some interesting tidbits about using the unit in different environments. When you are plugged into the unit and using it, you can safely use it between 14 and 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, when you want to charge the unit, you can charge it between 32 and 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Interesting to note there that you have to be above freezing in order to charge the lithium iron phosphate battery, but you can be down to 14 degrees Fahrenheit to discharge the battery. Oh, and then they also give an optimal operating temperature of between 68 and 86 degrees, which makes sense. Storage temperature, anywhere between 14 and 113 degrees Fahrenheit is what it can be stored at, but they recommend between 68 and 86. With the AC fast charging, it can take in 660 watts max and charge 100% in 1 hour. Pretty fast charge time. Now, if you're gonna solar charge this unit, the max amount of power it can take is 220 watts, which would take 3 to 6 hours to fully charge. Now, I mentioned this in my video on the Delta 2 unboxing, what EcoFlow did on the fan situation here. You can see up front here, if I angle it here, you can see these vents right here on the side. They're not on the top or the bottom, but they are on both sides of the unit. Okay, so they don't have a fan coming out the rear of the unit. There's one fan on this side with a vent and an open vent on this side with 2 vents up front on the sides. Kind of a cool venting system on the side behind the screen, which is kind of cool. Let's talk about what things the unit actually offers. So we've got the power button. Tap it, comes on, it's at 31%. We've got 4 AC plugs with 2 of them being able to receive a 3-prong ground plug. And then to turn that section on, we just hit the button, and that's kind of cool. The light inside the button is pretty cool. We also have over here that you can turn on or off the DC section as well. We've got the dust cover on the 12 volt side. I'm always a fan of the dust covers with, thankfully, the DC 5521 plugs. What I'm after is this cable. I bought this separately on Amazon for like $5. And so what you can do is plug this into the DC 5521 plug, and now you have a second port for your 12 volt. When I want to run my diesel heater and fridge, I'll plug the diesel heater into this port and then my fridge into this port. And then there's still a third port left to be able to plug in another device, which is great. I love that. Interesting. Of the 4 USB ports, they decided to include 3 of them as the USB-A port and then 1 of them a USB-C port, which shows right on there 100 watts for fast charging. And just like the Delta 2, if you just short tap the screen, it goes to sleep, but the unit remains on. And then tap it again, the display illuminates, and then press and hold, and then it'll just shut off. On the rear, we have the ports for the AC charging as well as the DC charging. And I do like that the handle sticks out, so if you try to push this up against the wall, the handle will prevent it from going all the way back and it won't damage the cords that are sticking out the back. I really like the form factor. Yeah, this is a nice unit. Anyways, just a quick unboxing to see what comes in the box and my first impressions of the unit. I'm excited to use this camping and test it out in different scenarios, let you know how it works out. Appreciate your time watching this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see you in the next one.